All right, listen to this from Proverbs 5. Very interesting. It says this: How I have hated instruction, and my heart despised correction. I have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to those who instructed me. I was on the verge of total ruin in the midst of the assembly and congregation. Now, if you heard the video I did yesterday, or if you watched that rather, you saw what I was talking about there, where I was explaining God's heart for his children to walk on the path of righteousness. It's a very important message. It's something that's really important for believers to understand. Now, if I were just going to put a title out there, or something like that, I think this little section that we're looking at here is this: obey the word or else. Okay? That's kind of the gist of what he's saying here. And in this portion, he's just saying this is what's going to happen to you when you ignore God's word, when you ignore the instruction that God gives you. And you're going to end up in this place. And before you get there, okay, Proverbs is telling you before you get there that you should pay attention to what's written, seek wisdom, seek understanding, and save yourself the trouble. Okay? And a lot of people, they don't think ahead very well. They're not, the word is, they are myopic, short-sighted. Okay? And in a bad way. Okay? Not thinking ahead, not thinking of the ramifications of the decisions being made. And rather than being short-sighted, we should be thinking about, getting to the finish line intact, with a good testimony. So this person basically ignored the instruction of his father, in this case Solomon. He ignored the instruction of his teachers, all of those people that were looking out for him. And he got to this point in his own sin where he basically realized how bad it was. Okay? Probably we're all in that boat, because if you're a believer in Jesus, the day came when you realize just how bad you messed up, how much of a mess you've made, and you get to this point where you say, man, I have not been listening. Okay? But there are some people that, even as a believer, they don't listen. They don't listen to God's word. They don't listen to the wisdom that is given to them by spiritual leaders, true spiritual leaders, not just fraudulent spiritual leaders, but people that are actually that actually love them and want the best for them in their spiritual walk. And when you don't listen and you walk according to your own agenda, you get to this point where you basically realize, man, I've hated instruction. I've despised correction. I have not obeyed the voice of my teachers or inclined my ears to those who instructed me. And that's a bad place to be in. Look, we have been given so much, right? We should not find ourselves in this place. And the final outcome is this: I was on the verge of total ruin in the midst of the assembly and congregation. Basically, sin had destroyed this person's life. And now, if you take some time to read in Proverbs chapter 5, which is where this is coming from, it's coming from verse 12 through verse 14. Proverbs chapter 5 is all about staying away from an immoral person, staying away from illicit relationships that would lead you away from the Lord and into unrighteousness. And it basically says it is a total trap. Run away. Stay as far away as you can. In this case, keep in mind the address is to his son, so he's talking about the adulterous woman, and look, this is the thing. The reason it's addressed over and over and over in the book of Proverbs is because it is something that is such a huge trap. And even yesterday, when we're talking about, the picture that Proverbs paints of sending your son on an errand or on a task and saying, hey, listen, when you go, you need to keep your eyes ahead. You need to walk on that path. Don't go to the right or to the left. That's where the temptation is. That's where the wickedness is. So it says in Proverbs 5, and it says, look, don't, it says, talking about the adulterous woman, her feet go to hell. Literally, it will lead you to hell. This illicit relationship is the path of destruction. It is the chosen path that many follow after. So understand what he's saying here. He's saying, save yourself right now. Listen to God's counsel, okay? Stay away from these illicit relationships. Stay away from sexual immorality of all types. Steer clear. It's not worth it. And he's saying again, don't get to that point where your life just feels like it's consumed with regret, because it's not worth it. Okay? Rather than that, why not follow God's counsel? Why not honor him with your life? Why not say today, okay, Lord, here I am, send me, just like Isaiah said, or as it says, that we should offer our members as instruments of righteousness. Okay, Lord, everything I've got's yours. Use it to your glory. That's the attitude that we need to walk through our day with. That's the way that we survive this daily life. So I hope that blesses you. I hope it encourages you. I hope it helps you to live worthy of the calling with which you were called today. May God richly bless you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. And if it did minister to you, leave a comment. Also, if you haven't yet, subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate that. Like the video. Thank you so much. May God richly bless you.